Hata mmeona Ruto anafurahi kweli? Hapana. Hawezi furahi sai. Anafurahia wapi? Sai hawezi. Anachukua ndege akifika pale Tanzania atasema bwana watanipendua mimi. Hawezi sai enda bali. Hata kwenda hawezi. Na mimi nataka rais tuendelee hivyo. Ukikaa hapa Kenya unakuwa na amani. Ukifurahi tu utatuambia pesa hiyo umefurahi ulitoa wapi na utatupea budget ya hiyo pesa na umerudi na nini hapa Kenya. Tuko na wewe bamba tu bamba. Hatukuachi. Na hakuna mahali unaenda. Hata Tanzania ukipanda ndege uende, tutajua hiyo ndege imetumia pesa ngapi ya kuenda huko, na Tanzania utatuletea nini. Kama hakuna tutakuchimba kabisa.
You know, what you've not seen in this country, you'll not see it anywhere. And what you've not heard, it will be very difficult for you to hear it from any other country. Because right now, the Gen Zs have decided that they are going to do the Lord's work. Any moment, any politician will make a mistake or make a stupid statement publicly, then he must be greeted. I'm talking about this because Raila Odinga, the only Baba, the only man that has been named Baba of the nation, felt it yesterday. After making a very stupid statement, let me call it stupid statement, whereby he was talking about the dialogue between the Gen Zs and the government. And the Gen Zs decided that they are not going to tarry, they are not going to rest. Like Millie Odhiambo normally say that we will not tarry, we will not rest. It will be us against you. So it has been for the past 2 days, in fact from the other day, it has been between Raila Odinga and the Gen Zs, which forced Raila Odinga to call for a meeting between with some of the young delegates, some of the young parliamentarians, to talk about what he said concerning the dialogue between the Gen Zs and the government.
But I'm happy to confirm that we have had consultations. And after extensive consultations, we have agreed that a dialogue is the way forward out of the crisis that we are having today in our country. We have agreed that we give people an opportunity to be heard, to express themselves, to come out with the grievances which are actually ailing our country today, so that a lasting solution can be found. Because of restrictions of resources or limitation of resources, we've agreed that everybody else will bear the cost of coming to this meeting. But we want it to be a really very engaging conversation on the way forward, so that we deal with fundamental issues that are affecting our society today.
Agombo, what are we bonging with them? Like, on a serious note, what are we bonging with them? You've been bonging. We could do these dialogues, and you know how they end. Kenyans are not ready for that again. Tunasonga to go 2024. Sisi tumesema as Kenyans, hakuna leader. Hakuna mambo ya dialogue, because we've been doing this. They know what we want. Jamani, we have had our issues for over 4 weeks now, over years, like from our ancestors and whatever. So they know what we're like against. So tafadhali, let's not bong again. Let's not bong. Instead, let's see implementation.
And Raila responded, and this is what Raila Odinga said. Raila said that nimeambiwa na hawa viongozi kwamba mmesema hamtaki handshake. Ujumbe umefika. So that is the level now that the Gen Zs are pushing things. I think this is the best way, by the way, because without this without the Gen Zs pushing these things will have just been the same. The same way they have been year in, year out, having demonstrations, nothing happens, no change is made. The leaders remain to be the same again, something like that. They do things the way they want, simply because they are in power and no one can go against them. And surprisingly enough, Raila Amolo Odinga repeated what Kalonzo Musyoka said. And then Kalonzo Musyoka again, after feeling the heat, after Kalonzo Musyoka felt the heat, he also came out public and said that the time has come right now that people don't need dialogue. People need action. I remember in this platform, I said there is a time that there's one day that I said that the Gen Zs are going to change the strategy, or they are going to change the politics of this nation. The moment the Gen Zs went and occupied parliament, that is now when I realized that these people are no joke. These guys can do anything as long as it's something they feel like is the right thing to do. And I'm repeating this again, that the Gen Zs are going to change the shape of politics in this country, and they have changed it. Any moment any politician will make a mistake of saying anything wrong publicly, then he will be greeted. Atasalimiwa. I want us to take a look at why the Gen Zs were against Raila Amolo Odinga, or why the Gen Zs rose against Raila Amolo Odinga. Number one, we have to understand that during these protests, when the Gen Zs were beginning the protest, there is a statement that one lady made, and this is the same lady who talked about Raila Amolo Odinga, saying that mambo na dialogue hatutaki. This lady told Raila Odinga that you fought for this nation, you've done your part, so it is our turn now to do the Lord's work. You relax at home, don't come out, let us do our part. I want us to listen to the way this lady said immediately the demonstrations were starting.
Agwambo, this is a message to you. Usitoke, don't come. Agwambo, please stay at home. We saw your efforts, okay? We saw everything that you did for Kenya. Now let us. We miss you, but Agwambo, please don't even come outside. Don't come outside. Tunatoka on your behalf, okay?
Truth be told, Raila Amolo Odinga is old. Let us note. Raila is old. Raila Amolo Odinga is old. They call him. They called. If you're old, they call you an old folk. So Raila Amolo Odinga is old, and he has really fought for this nation. He has done a lot. Raila Amolo Odinga has done a lot. I've done a lot for this nation, fighting for democracy, fighting for all that revolution. Right now we have good freedom of speech. So Raila Amolo Odinga has done a lot. I've done a lot for this country. And that is why the Gen Zs were telling him that he should relax. He should not even come out. He should relax so that they can fight this battle, so they can go fight this battle by themselves. So the moment the Gen Zs saw Raila Amolo Odinga with William Samoei Ruto, and their key enemy, their main enemy here right now is William Samoei Ruto. So the moment they saw Raila Amolo Odinga with William Ruto, and then Raila Amolo Odinga is coming out to talk about dialogue, they felt like this guy has really betrayed, and he doesn't know what he's saying. And right now we know that anybody that is with William Ruto, anybody that works with William Ruto is an enemy of the Gen Zs. That is something that is open. If you're walking, if you're talking, if you're seen with William Ruto, then automatically you are an enemy of the people. And these people are the Gen Zs. So no matter who you are, no matter how, let us, even right now, even if Okiya Omtatah decides to go and meet with William Ruto, let me tell you something, that even that party that Okiya Omtatah have decided to register, they will not care. They will not care with that party. And these guys do not even need any party to do their things. They are partyless, they are tribalist, and they are leaderless. So these guys, if at all they see you with William Ruto, they automatically know that you are an enemy. You are not only their enemy, but you are an enemy of the country. What is the mistake? So I want us to look at some of the mistakes that Raila Amolo Odinga did. I think there are around 2-3 mistakes that Raila Amolo Odinga did that made the Gen Zs become angry with him. Because the Gen Zs were not angry with Raila Amolo Odinga before. But the moment Raila Amolo Odinga came out and started talking on their behalf. First question they were asking that, okay, you are saying that we, who are we? And where did we discuss these things that we're saying? So are you saying, so the Gen Zs before, they were not angry with Raila. But the moment Raila Odinga appeared publicly at KICC and they were with William Ruto, they felt like Raila Odinga has betrayed them. So what are the mistakes that Raila Odinga did? Even during, while he was making the statement, what were the mistakes, some of the mistakes that Raila Odinga did? Mistake number one that Raila Odinga did was this. We know very well that Raila Odinga right now is fighting to become the chairman of African Union. That is around in 5-6 months time. So if he is fighting to become the chairman of African Union, the expectation of the African countries at large, African countries and presidents at large, is that he will act as an intermediary. He will bring peace. Let's say, for example, if maybe Somalia and Ethiopia are fighting, so it will be Raila Odinga's work and duty to make sure that Ethiopia and Somalia comes in good terms, whereby he will make sure that there will be that peace. And a peace cannot come in between two countries without dialogue. So Raila Odinga thought that the same way he can bring peace between two countries is the same way he can bring peace in between the Gen Zs and William Ruto. Because I think he was looking at it in this way. If I go, and I think all of us, if we try to put ourselves in Raila Odinga's shoes, just in this, only in this statement that I want to make, that you're going to be elected to be the chairman of African Union, and your main work is to bring peace. And then in your country, there is a problem that needs peace. So what are you going to tell us, or what are you going to do? What are you going to tell us to elect you? Yet in your own country, you failed to bring peace. So that is now where I think Raila Odinga was bringing this issue of dialogue. That let us have this dialogue so that we can have peace in between the Gen Zs and the government. But the problem that Raila Odinga did was his approach. His approach was very bad and very poor. That is the mistake that he did. His approach was very wrong. So, okay, he had got good intentions. But now, okay, after having good intentions, what is the approach? The approach was wrong. I think that is now whereby the Gen Zs also felt like Raila Odinga has betrayed them. Talking about the dialogue between the government and them is something that Raila Odinga could have not talked about. Another thing that, another mistake that Raila Odinga thought that, okay, after maybe simply because Raila Odinga thought that just because the Gen Zs failed to listen to Ruto, then maybe he thought that the Gen Zs will listen to him. I think that is another mistake. So he thought that being that the Gen Zs have been listening to him, or maybe he has been talking and the Gen Zs listen and people listen to him, so he thought that the Gen Zs would also listen to him the second time, this time round, when he talks about dialogue, then they'll say that, okay, just the same way people only say that, hivyo venye baba amesema, wacha tukafanye hivyo. So maybe he thought that when he comes out and says that, and say that let us have dialogue, people will come and say that, okay, baba amesema tuwe na dialogue, wacha tuende tukasikize jinsi ambavyo serikali inataka. So that is another mistake that Mr. Raila did, thinking that people will listen to him the same way they used to listen to him before, after failing to listen to William Ruto. So that is another mistake that Raila Odinga did. But there is one thing I can say. I have one thing that I can say. I can tell Raila Odinga. And anybody, I think I have a friend. I'll send him this video, and maybe I'll tell him to share it with Raila Odinga. One thing I can say is for free is this: that let Raila concentrate on this issue of AUB to become the chairman, and let Gen Zs fight their own battle. This battle they started by themselves, and therefore they don't need anybody to help them fight it at the end, up to the end. Because they started it by themselves. They occupied parliament without any politician's help. Now, they've decided they had even their concert without anybody's help. They made sure that finance bill was not signed by themselves. So right now, Raila Odinga should not even interfere, should not hijack their battle. This is Gen Z's war, and Raila Odinga should sit back. should be far, far away from it, should not even get involved in it. Because as they say, let everybody fight his own battle. Let William Ruto fight his own battle. Let him carry his own cross. Because by coming in to talk about dialogue, it means that Raila Odinga wants to help William Ruto fight his battle. So one thing I can say is that let William Ruto fight his battle, because what the Gen Zs are in need of, the Gen Zs are in need of accountability. Nothing more, nothing less. They only need accountability. This is why the Gen Zs were asking this thing yesterday, saying that reject dialogue. Asking that, do we need a dialogue to arrest killer cops? No. Do we need a dialogue to sack corrupt government officials? No. Do we need a dialogue to audit the public debt? No. Do we need a dialogue to post medical interns? No. Do we need a dialogue to end incompetence? No. Is this too much to ask for? So that is what the Gen Zs need. They need nothing more, nothing less. Those are the things that they need. So talking about dialogue here is a no-go zone. So, and I really appreciate Raila Odinga coming back to his senses, because he normally listens. So after listening to the Gen Zs and the reactions that the Gen Zs had, he decided to say that, okay, there will be no need of dialogue, and there will be no need of handshake. So that is the only thing, that is the only message that I can have to Raila Odinga. Let Raila Baba please keep off from Gen Z's war, Gen Z's battle, and Gen Z's fight for revolution. That is all I had for today. I also like to listen to your thought at the comment section. And just a request, if you're meeting for the first time, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can also like and share, and drop me a comment and tell me where you're watching us from and how these videos are reaching you. And until you meet again, I've been your host, Boniface Awino. Bye-bye.